Hey, my name is Blake Bennett, and I'm the Executive Director of YouthQuake Live, and I just wanted to say thanks for letting your child be a part of our team this year. Our cast is absolutely amazing. I've loved getting to know them already, just the first couple of practices and at our retreat this past August. They're just some absolutely incredible kids. And I just wanted to say thanks for your participation and for supporting them. You know, I first got into YouthQuake Live because of my mom. I had no idea what it was. She saw YouthQuake Live in a newspaper article. She suggested I should be a part of it. And when I got to my first show, I was so scared to be in front of all those people. We were at a packed out house in UNF. I had no idea what I was doing. In fact, I was so nervous that they actually had to take my microphone away from me. It just sounded like Darth Vader the whole skit because I was just breathing so heavily. I was so scared. And YouthQuake Live is something that God's used in my life to help grow my gifts and talents to the place where now I'm actually getting to pour into that next generation of youth Quakers, which I'm so privileged by. And so I know the value of a strong parent that believes in their child and is pushing them towards doing things for the Lord like YouthQuake Live. So I just wanted to say thanks for being a part of that. If you weren't able to join us this past YouthQuake Live retreat for our parents meeting, I want to give you a quick little update on that. This year is our legacy tour. It's our 20th season here in the city, and we're super excited to be going into our 20th season because the average youth minister in Jacksonville right now lasts for about 18 months. It's a very sad statistic. And so the fact that YouthQuake Live has been able to chug along and do amazing ministry for 20 years now is pretty much a miracle. And what we do is we come alongside local youth ministries. Our whole goal as YouthQuake Live isn't to grow YouthQuake, but it's actually to grow student ministry. It's to make them better, stronger, to come alongside them and be a support to them. And as we get ready for our 20th season, the Legacy Tour, we couldn't be more excited for the things that God has in plan for us. From the beginning, our core verse has always been 1 Timothy 4:12. And it says that don't let anyone look down on you because of your youth, but instead set the example for all believers. And that's what we really believe that God is challenging this year's cast to do, is to set the example for all believers, not just their peers, but even for the older generations. You know, the New York Times recently did an article on this current generation. And what they did was they asked people that are in the workforce that do a lot of the hiring. And they asked them, hey, what's the one word that you would use to describe this upcoming generation? And they surveyed all the top companies, the Fortune 500 companies. They asked them that question, and they came back with one word that most of these companies had in common when describing this generation. And that word was entitled. That when most people think about this generation, this young generation, they think of them as entitled. Now, before we start pointing fingers, it's good to remember who taught them to be entitled, and it was, of course, the generation before them. And so I'm excited to work together with you as a team to let this cast not be of the entitled mindset that thinks that they deserve everything without working for it, that when you give them a large fry, they wonder why they didn't get 2 large fries. But to, instead of trying to take and be entitled, to leave a legacy, to come and say, I'm going to build something that's going to outlast me. I'm not going to live for myself. I'm going to live for God. I'm going to live a legacy. And that's what this tour is all about. It's about getting beyond ourselves and leaving something, to recognize that we're part of the greatest story that's ever been told. There's this part of the Lord of the Rings where the hero Frodo is walking with his best friend Sam, and Sam looks to Frodo and says, what type of story have we fallen into? And that's the moment I want for every teenager this year, is that they would recognize that they're a part of the greatest story that's ever been told. They're a part of a legacy, and that they've been called to leave a legacy too. And so I look forward to partnering with you as parents to help this year's cast have the best experience ever, to not only leave a legacy, but to have something happen in their life that they recognize that they're part of the greatest story that's ever been told. So thank you for believing in your child, and thanks for partnering with YouthQuake Live. You'll see in this email a list of ways that you can partner with us even further, and I hope that you would consider joining us, whether that be partnering with us and volunteering at shows or one of our other ways. And the number one way I really want to encourage you as a parent to get involved, we have our fundraising banquet, and it's going to be absolutely amazing, and I want to encourage you to check it out. It's really simple. You just basically invite your friends and host a table, and it's going to be at Maggiano's, so the food's amazing. The banquet's always fun. The kids do skits and performances, live music. It's going to be a blast, and I would love to see you there for this year's fundraising banquet. You can get all the information you need right here in this email. So thank you again for partnering with this generation and partnering with YouthQuake Live and for believing in your child. They mean so much to us, and we can't wait to work with them this year. God bless.